You wake up, but you can't remember if you were dreaming or if you were still inside the simulation. And the terrifying part, your brain doesn't know either. Right now, a phenomenon neuroscientists are calling dream bleeding is spreading through sleep labs worldwide. People aren't just dreaming anymore. They're experiencing something else entirely. Their subconscious minds are speaking a new language, one written in pixels and code. Imagine seeing health bars floating above loved ones or pause menus appearing during a nightmare. This isn't just happening to a few gamers. It's affecting millions of VR users, and that number is exploding daily. If you think this is just about weird dreams, you're missing the bigger picture. There are patents right now for technology that can literally program what you dream about. What happens when the one place that's entirely yours, your subconscious, becomes accessible to corporations? When you close your eyes tonight, will you actually be the one dreaming? You wake up, but something feels wrong. The room looks real, sounds real, but there's this nagging sensation that you were just somewhere else, not another place, another reality. And here's the disturbing part. You couldn't tell if you were dreaming or if you were still wearing the headset. Welcome to the new frontier of consciousness, where virtual reality is rewriting the rules of your subconscious mind. This isn't science fiction anymore. Right now, thousands of people are experiencing what scientists call dream bleeding. Their brains can no longer distinguish between pixels and REM sleep, and the implications, they're more terrifying than you think. Let me tell you about Marcus. He's a heavy VR user, spending about 6 hours daily in immersive environments. 3 months in, he started noticing something strange. His dreams weren't just dreams anymore. They had user interface elements. Health bars floating above people's heads. Pause menus appearing when he got stressed. His subconscious mind was literally coding virtual reality into his sleep architecture. And Marcus isn't alone. Sleep labs across the world are documenting this phenomenon, and neuroscientists are scrambling to understand what's happening inside our skulls. Here's what they've discovered. Your brain doesn't have a dedicated reality detector. When you're in virtual reality, your visual cortex, your hippocampus, your entire sensory processing system treats those experiences as real. They get encoded into memory the same way. And when you sleep, during that crucial REM phase when your brain consolidates memories and processes emotions, it can't tell the difference between that meeting you had at work and that dragon you fought in VR. Both get filed away. Both become part of your dream symbol library. Think about that for a second. For thousands of years, humans have dreamed about universal symbols. Water representing emotions, flying meaning freedom, being chased symbolizing anxiety. Carl Jung built entire theories about the collective unconscious based on these archetypal dream symbols. But what happens when we inject completely artificial symbols into that ancient system? What does it mean when your subconscious starts speaking in the language of game mechanics and virtual landscapes? The research gets even more fascinating. A study from Stanford's Virtual Human Interaction lab found that people who spend significant time in VR show altered patterns in their REM sleep. Their eye movements during dreams mirror the tracking patterns they use in virtual environments. Their brainwaves show signatures of spatial navigation even when they're lying perfectly still. It's like their sleeping brain is still exploring virtual worlds. But here's where it gets dark. If you've been paying attention to the tech industry, you know this isn't just a curiosity. This is an opportunity. And some companies are already exploiting it. There are patents right now for systems that can influence dream content through pre-sleep VR exposure. Imagine going to bed after a curated virtual experience designed specifically to plant ideas in your dreams. Dream incubation used to be a spiritual practice. Now it's becoming a product feature. Let me share something that should genuinely concern you. Researchers discovered that specific VR experiences before sleep can trigger what they call synthetic dreams. These aren't natural dreams that happen to include VR elements. These are dreams whose entire narrative structure, emotional arc, and symbolic content were essentially programmed by the virtual experience. Your subconscious isn't creating anymore. It's replaying. If you're wondering whether anyone would actually weaponize this, ask yourself, have you ever seen a technology that wasn't eventually used for advertising, influence, or control? Before you think this is all negative, let me show you the other side. Because this technology has extraordinary therapeutic potential. Veterans with PTSD are using controlled VR exposure therapy, and their nightmares are changing. Instead of being trapped in traumatic loops, they're able to reshape those memories in virtual space, and those changes carry over into their dreams. People learning lucid dreaming are using VR as training wheels, creating environments where they can practice recognizing when they're not in baseline reality. The line between nightmare and healing is being redrawn. Sufferers of sleep paralysis are finding relief through VR desensitization. By safely experiencing similar sensations of immobility and presence in virtual space, their brains are learning new responses. The ancient terror of the night visitor, that shadow figure that's haunted humans for millennia, is being confronted with silicon and code. And it's working. But every tool cuts both ways. The same technology that can heal trauma can create it. The same systems that help you lucid dream can trap you in manufactured narratives. And here's the question nobody in Silicon Valley wants to answer. Who decides what goes into your dreams? Because make no mistake, we're approaching a world where that's not just possible, it's profitable. Think about your digital footprint right now. Algorithms know what keeps you scrolling, what makes you click, what triggers your dopamine. Now imagine that level of psychological profiling applied to your dream content. Imagine VR experiences designed with such precision that they don't just entertain you while awake, they follow you into sleep. Your subconscious mind, that deep well of creativity and emotion that has been yours alone for your entire life, could become accessible to the highest bidder. The metacognition researchers are raising red flags. Metacognition, your ability to think about your own thinking, to know that your you is already being affected. Long-term VR users report moments of dissociation, brief flickers where they question which reality is baseline. Now layer in the dream state where metacognition is already compromised. You're creating a perfect storm for identity confusion. Some users are experiencing what they call false awakening loops, where they wake up multiple times before actually waking up, and each false awakening feels completely real. This isn't some distant future concern. This is happening now. As VR headsets become lighter, cheaper, more immersive, more people are spending more hours in virtual spaces. And every night, those experiences are seeping into our dreams. The great filter between waking and sleeping, between real and virtual, is becoming permeable. Your brain is adapting faster than we can study it. So what do you do with this information? First, understand that your dream life is not separate from your waking life anymore. What you consume virtually will absolutely influence what you experience unconsciously. Second, pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal. Notice if you're seeing UI elements, game mechanics, or virtual landscapes. Your dreams are trying to tell you something about how your brain is changing. Third, set boundaries. Just because you can spend 8 hours in VR doesn't mean you should. Your subconscious mind needs space to process reality, not just virtual experiences. The future of consciousness is being written right now, in the overlap between sleep, research, and virtual reality development. And unlike most technological revolutions, this one is happening inside your head. The question isn't whether VR will change how we dream. It already is. The question is whether we'll be conscious participants in that change or passive subjects. Here's what I want you to do. Share this video with someone who needs to understand what's happening to our collective dream life. Subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up, where we explore how to protect your subconscious in the age of virtual reality. And drop a comment telling me, have you noticed VR elements bleeding into your dreams? Because this conversation is just beginning. Tonight, when you close your eyes, pay attention. Really pay attention. Notice the symbols, the landscapes, the logic of your dreams. Ask yourself, is this coming from me, or is this coming from something I experienced through a screen? Because in the age of virtual reality and artificial dreams, that might be the most important question you can ask. Sweet dreams. Or whatever we're calling them now.